Good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to week 2 of the Fabul Gauntlet. Right now, today, we have a match tonight between Zilch6 and Drcossack. With me tonight is co-commentator Antidale. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited for this race between two pretty well experienced runners in the community. I believe Zilch has done very well in some of the Highway to Zima Stone matches, and Drcossack usually does well in all our community races that he.
Absolutely. Both won their first. I do not actually have their match history. Both did win their first week 1 match there. I have seen both of them quite a ways around. Have not raced Drcossack that much. Have raced Zilch a few times. Definitely strong competition here. Real quick, want to give a shout out to Bacon Pie for those 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much for those.
Indeed, that is very generous of you. So it looks like we have a Rydia start today. What kind of routing do you usually do when you see Rydia in your early part?
It definitely depends on that second character. You see Rydia, she's level 1. You're going to actually route in Hobbs usually pretty quickly just to see if you get that first summon, unless you see something like a quick Sylph in. I ran one this morning, actually, that had a double Rydia start. It was very interesting. You ran to Hobbs, you found Titan, you're like, well, I need 40 MP now. So the one thing they're probably going to have to find, especially because they're not going to find a Foo or an Edge, but they are going to run around and hope they find some form of offense, because 30 hit points and 10 magic points does not do you very much at the beginning of a race here.
No, it definitely does not. Do you think people might be dipping into Watery Passage or doing some extra looting to get some money, maybe find Dancing Dagger?
It does depend. Dancing Dagger is one of the one items you really want to find with a Rydia start. Again, unless you find something like a very fast, like Kayn and a Gungnir, or a Sid and any decent hammer there. There's just a lot of early. There's just a lot of early divergence. I would see a lot of them probably start at Baron, kind of as usual. You get some of those early checks with like Mist and Kaipo out of the way. Fairly standard starts here. Only if they're really a little bit of desperation might send to the Watery Pass there. I would not really go there unless Tello was my second and I had a good way to exit out.
Yeah, that's a very good point. All that walking back can take some time. And these runners probably don't want to spend too much time walking if they can avoid.
Absolutely. The question is, Antidale, any specific objectives do you want to see here?
Well, I know chat always likes to see the harp, and it's always good to see music. I kind of want to see them have to find another Rydia, because that means that we know our duplicate right away, and who knows where she's going to be hiding.
To be fair, that'd be awesome. One of mine I really like is, it's all I roll anymore. I just like to see Giant required.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely clears out all of your XP that you're going to need for the seed. Can set you up for a good D-Machine grind if you'd like. And it looks like our runners are about to start.
All right, so who are we going to get here? We've got Tell. So, hey, we do have that exit now.
Ooh, and an Earth Crystal. I bet we're going to see almost an immediate jump to go to Troya and loot all those extra chests. They're not going to be super great like they would be when we make it to brackets. That's still going to be a lot of efficient checking.
Absolutely. Anytime I get an Earth Crystal start up, and that's like I was saying, a divergence there, I might check Baron first just to see the end character, but I would not be surprised if they, just for volume of treasure chests, jetted immediately over to Troya now.
Yeah, it's interesting with the objectives, and maybe if they have a bunch of character objectives, they might dip the Baron in first just to see it or see bosses.
Well, I solidly complete the Giant, so I'm happy. It looked like there was Edge as well in there, so they will have to find an Edge at the end. And we're going to see the rest of them. They did flip through them pretty quickly. I think I saw a Leviathan. Oh, return the pan, so we are going to have to find the pan. We have a Yong and a Lunar Sparkle in the Baron Inn.
They do find a Dwarf Axe and some wine also in the end, so that's some nice pickups.
Oh yeah, Dwarf Axe is one of the things you really want to see early, just so you can get your Kayns and your Sids and maybe your Cecils, even though you can get a bow there. Let's see. Notables in that treasure. It was a Curse Ring and a Dwarf Axe in there so far. Cat Claw as well. Silence Staff, not bad. Strength Ring. That's a pretty decent treasury, actually. There were a lot of decent hits in there.
Yeah, Radia is going to be well defended with a Sork Robe, and I believe I saw a Diamond Ring as well. So those 30 hit points will
Yeah, I did
actually go
see.
a long.
We definitely want to find Yong because that was the second Cat Claw we found in there. Also looked like a Charm Rod in the Barren Grass as well. So definitely a lot of good things this early here.
Yeah, and a Poison Claw and a Blizzard Spirit looked like. So when we do get that Yang, it's going to be well set up.
I saw cabins and exits in the Baron item shop. Not a few other things. Exits, not so much with a got Thor Rages as well. Not so much with a Tella in the party. You generally don't need the exits that much. He's got that part covered.
Yeah, and it's nice to save all that money with the 4.0 of shop changes. When exits get to be 2,000 a pop, you're starting to buy like 1 or 2 and nurse them. But Tella's 90 MP can get you a good number of exits early.
Yeah, and now we see Zilch running over to the Troy Treasury, and Drcossack going to spawn that hook there. Now, while I like the play, I know people like to let that hovercraft lie, but honestly, I use the hovercraft so much, even when it isn't like a Launch the Falcon or anything like that, that usually, I want to say 8 times out of 10, you're probably going to be using that hook anyway.
Yeah, it's mostly if I feel confident enough that I, in my party, but still want to pick up an extra person, that I won't launch it if I've gone to Hobbs first.
Yep.
But most of the time, the Damsian loop is where I'll start too.
Interesting enough, another Charm Rod in the treasury in Damsian there. So we've got lots of good things here. We even did find a vampire item there. That's one of the J attack items. Does usually around somewhere from about 500 to 700 damage and drains that much, as long as we don't use it on the undead, of course. But will do quite a lot of damage to at least a Hobbs or an Antlion boss at this stage.
Yeah, that'll definitely get you most of the way there, and sometimes you can do some early shopping with a team like this that's low on offense to just find a bunch of vampires to really clear out, probably up through even the Baron Inn.
Yeah, Cossack's still going up the backside of Miss. Not going to trip the Hobbs flag just yet. We do find a Rosa. That's great. Antlion should be doable. The offense is not huge still at this point. Gonna go straight there. Did find that vampire. Got a couple Thor Rages. Might even go for the Kamikaze there with Tella. 340 damage at that point with only 1,200 on that boss. Not too bad, honestly.
And Rydia unfortunately gets popped for full damage, but then Rose able to get her back up and move to the back row where she's much safer.
Yeah, we did find, looks like we got Cure 2s and Life Potions both in Troy. Something Drcossack did not check just yet here.
Oh, and that Elven Bow is a nice pickup too. That'll definitely be nice when Zilch goes up to Hobbs and finds his.
Oh yeah, finding that Rosa there is going to have enough offense here. I'm going to take just a little bit extra time, but that's not going to be too awfully bad here. For Rosa, it's generally worth it.
And I believe we had seen a bandana or a headband in one of the chests in Damsian 2, which will help that Rosa do a little bit more damage, although it won't be able to equip it in that first.
Yep. So Zilch is going to give us a Kaipo check, see who is in the bed here. That's a Cecil. Which, unless you really have a black sword with him, not really too useful. Unless you're using him as an anchor there. Got Ether 2s over in the item shop as well. Cossack going to go into the back of Hobbs here after dealing with that boss fight, though. Now, question here is, they both have Earth Crystals. They're both going to have to find Edge. Oh, there's a light sword at the back of Hobbs there. Great for Cecil if you can get him past ordeals at this point.
Yeah, definitely will give runners a little bit of incentive if they find an early Sand Ruby to then hightail immediately to ordeals. And here it looks like we're going to get our check on the Hobbs flag. See what summon Iridia get.
Zilch is doing a ton of looting here right now. Kind of come up with a little bit of extra stuff. We found Odin on Hobbs. Useful in the right places, but against most bosses with the boss bit, not really going to see much use here.
No, not too much. Although with the alternate gauntlet flag on, all of the enemies in that gauntlet will be not have the boss bit unless we're on the moon.
Yeah.
So it could get a lot of play there.
Back in 2.0, before we got really into the D machines and the sirens there, one of my favorite grinds actually was taking Odin and turning random moon encounters on, actually.
Yeah, those carry Warlock fights can give you a lot of XP and are pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Although it is interesting, we did see, we do note that Drcossack did find a Blitz Whip there, and the good thing about all of Rydia's whips is they are all are back row okay, so you can back row glitch Rydia. She's packing that Silence Staff right now with just putting a whip on there.
Yeah, and she will do some fairly decent damage, and the Blitz Whip does have the nice property of being able to paralyze enemies too.
So still, we are getting a lot of looting out of the way. Like that Elven Bow really is going to help Drcossack here. Actually, Zilch, who did pick up that Elven Bow in the shop. But really, with Odin, we're still looking for that big offensive option there. Tella really isn't going to cut it. Rydia is going to have at least the Chocobo now. We haven't found a Sylph, and we haven't found anything else here. And so we're pretty much going to be relying on Rosa's bow here for offense.
Yeah, which is, I haven't seen any particularly great arrows either, so they're going to be relying on that bow, the headband. I think we've seen a karate robe as well, just to give her a little bit more strength and a couple more multipliers.
Now the good news is Antlion Boss only has a little bit over 1,000 hit points, so not really going to be in any type of mess. The big question I have here is how fast, with the 2 character checks, does it take for them to find that Earth Crystal? Excuse me.
It's like a couple lunar sparkles. We have a pale dim that's actually going to be fought here at the bottom of Antlion, and I actually missed who was in the watery passage. Gambit says it was Ogopogo.
Yeah, a great thing to not have to fight there. Ogopogo, a jerk anyway, just seeing him at the waterway, really great to just be able to say, no, we really don't want to deal with that. So right now we do have a Cecil in the bed. We do have a light sword in there. The question is, they're likely going to meet both in Fabul with this party. We haven't seen many of the J items out there for attacking just yet. So the question is, if they don't find a bunch of stuff here, where do they end up going?
I think we might see a little bit more of our world tour and see more of the shops while they look for vampires, because that'll be their most efficient J item that's possible to be purchased in stores on the Overworld.
That is true. I'm getting a little bit of a look here through, and it does look like Zilch is going to be throwing, looks like does have access to 2 vampires here. Did find mute arrows somewhere, so it's going to have that Elven Bow and mute arrows. That's a pretty decent combination here this early in the game. But yeah, vampires got a low roll on that 488 here, but gonna make Antlion here pretty short. And the real issue with Drcossack's fight here is you can't really even drop Chocobo on this fight, because if you paled him with any sort of summon, you're going to get a retaliatory quake, and nobody really wants to see that.
No, that's going to hurt this party an awful lot.
So we are actually seeing Zilch run out, go to Silvera, going to be looking for more options here. And I agree, kind of did not like his offensive options when it comes to when it came to that antlion there. Did find a silk web in the grass. Gonna check the item shop, but I think you were right on the money with that whole let's look for vampires, see if we can find them, because that does seem to be one of our best possible offensive answers if we can find them.
Yeah, they're definitely not guaranteed. I had a seed recently where they were on the moon, which was a little bit late for the utility. And we get a rat tail.
It's nice to see. No real hook to pick that up yet, but definitely better than an unusable piece of equipment at this point.
Looked like Zilch did find some Cure 3s and sold a bunch of stuff in his inventory, possibly to afford them. But we're still looking for some offense at all.
Yeah, might be looking for those dancing daggers at this point. Only Rydia in this party can use them at this current point, but a couple hundred damage at this point around is nothing to turn your nose up at here. We did find vampires. They are in Fabul.
And we see Drcossack emptying his inventory as well to afford those. That definitely helped speed up this fight.
Yeah, dropping those. Got those two cat claws just taunting you. They make Yong very good very quickly here. A stack of 10 will get you quite far here. I would say probably get you through the Baron Inn as well as the Fabul defense here. So long as we don't run into anybody named like Valvolus or something.
Yeah, and a good choice there to take that safety save, because there's still a lot of mean bosses that could absolutely wreck this.
I mean, the good news is if you find Valvolus here, you know she cannot be guarding any type of actual progression, at least in terms of getting underground. She can be blocking progression a couple other different ways.
Yeah, but you know that'll be a roadblock you can fight later.
Yep. Nope, just this lunar sparkle here. That's Wyvern. We still know that it's not blocking progression by some other way, and here comes the Mega Nuke. Rydia outright dodged it.
Oh man, this would be a fantastic time to put a Star Veil on Rydia and then let Chocobo do some work with Wyvern's counterattack.
That is actually a great idea. Yeah, that would be perfect there. That would give you the reflected Mega Nuke that would end this fight very quickly. It does seem to want to fight this normally for now. The Sid, you keep seeing Rydia dodging those. I'm going to guess because of the of the equipment she has on there. She probably has 1 or 2 magic evasion modifiers on there. Probably has just enough to get a dodge chance on that Mega Nuke. I've seen other characters do it a lot. You'll see Fusoya dodge a lot of Mega Nukes as well, usually, so long as the magic power in certain places isn't huge. We did see Drcossack put the battle speed all the way down to 6. Gonna have plenty of time here to put these Star Veils up, and Wyvern does get the Mega Nuke off, but not before Rosa gets that wall up. Only 1099. That's not enough. That boss slot does have about 1,800 hit points, give or take.
Yeah, and Zilch is through Pale Dim and does pick up his Rat Tail as well, and looks like is exiting immediately out.
Now, was that using a... Yeah, gonna bounce the vampire off of Rose's wall.
That is some very clever usage. It's definitely easy to forget that vampire is reflectable.
Yep. Well, that will do it there. And down goes Wyvern here, and what are we gonna get for that there?
Well, there's our Cecil.
Well, I mean, no reason not to. We do have a good weapon for him, and Ordeals isn't a terrible play right now. Now, Zilch, I did not see where Zilch picked up that self-summon. That might be in an item shop in what looks like Mysidia there. That'll be a good source of offense there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of shopping that should save them a lot of time as they climb more deals or even do this Wyvern fight.
Yeah, gonna run into that. Now, none of them found any other Dragon Cool weaponry. Definitely no arty arrows out there so far. But the one thing, yep, Zilch has found the fact that we do have vampires out there. Does buy a few of them, not as many as Drcossack did.
Now, with the investment in that self summon, I don't think he needs it as much, and probably doesn't have the money. And there's a dancing dagger.
Speaking of, yes, Fabul was the answer the entire time. Not gonna make that safety save. Gonna get a very rude awakening here with that Wyvern coming up here. But that is most of our Moon Sparkles out of the way. We've seen Ogopogo, Wyvern, and Pale Dim. So only D-Lunars or Plague left if we see any of those. Might have got that run. Nope, did not get that run buffer. Oh, no, Teledodge this one.
Oh, and Starveil up on Rydia's side. I wonder if we're going to get a Still Summon or a Chocobo. And here it is.
Yeah, I would definitely see a Sylph coming out here, getting the reflected Mega Nuke. Might be enough to do it here. Depends on rolls here. Oh wow, 1024 reflected Mega Nuke. Yeah, that's totally gonna be enough. Yep. Oh wow, 2200. Drcossack got a really low roll on that reflected Mega Nuke at the beginning there. And I know they already found a cursed ring. More of them on sale in Kaipo here.
As well as Ether 2s, that'll be nice if they needed to nurse Tella's MP around for a while.
So we've got a Dancing Dagger, we've got Sylph, at least on Zilch's side here, and a Mute Knife. We have our Dark Knight Cecil, we have Tella. It almost kind of seems like there is a big neon sign here saying Mount Ordeals this way, and Cossack is going straight there.
Yeah, they do still have to find Leviathan, who could definitely be one of the 3 bosses up here. You get some good, at least boss check efficiency, and a strength ring out of there. That'll be nice when they get Cecil fully powered up.
And Venerable's telling me here that likely that opening Mega Nuke and counter Mega Nuke do have different spell powers. Yeah, that sounds about right. Baron Inn, we had yet another of the Lunar Sparkles, I believe, in, I believe it was Yong there?
That's correct.
Okay, we do actually have double Cat Claws for Yong, so also going to be a great pickup there. He will start out a little bit slow, but those Cat Claws will help with that immensely. Speaking of Yong, guess who our first fight here at the top of Ordeals is?
Yes, we have Karate, 1 spot off of his best spot, period, in Free Enterprise. in the back attacks.
Almost the kick heard around the world, but not so much. Is going to hope to high roll a few of these vampires. Doesn't want to use them all, given that we do have another boss up here to take out before Cecil flips to Paladin here. But is throwing quite a few at that karate man here.
Yeah, it still looks like we'll have 3 left, and so should get about half the damage down on the next boss.
Yep. Did have battle speed back on the 6 there. That's why it looked a little bit slow there. Zilch right on Drcossack's heels, fighting that Karate Man fight here.
And here we're going to get a speech of justice, so all those extra vampires spent not going to be too painful.
No, not at all, and especially given that 1 cure 2 here from Rosa, and looks like everybody here should likely, yeah, they're totally all going to survive that last Dark Wave, no problem whatsoever. Topping off here a little bit, doesn't need to so much as walking into the Paladin Chamber is a full heal. Seeing Sylph on Zilch's side doing 1600 already here. Yeah, we got a lot of good, they got a lot of good stuff here for that Rydia here.
Yeah, I bet his Rydia is powered up with that Sorcerer Robe as well as the Charm Rod. Inventor Ball chanting for some Pain Man on Pain Man damage action.
That's who wins at that point?
Pidge wins 100%. And I think we've definitely seen all of the extra shopping that Zilch did. Has definitely pretty much kept him even, and probably will help catch him up once they get into the Baron infight.
Zilch is saying, who waits on 3 Dark Waves? I'm going to throw Sylph at this. And apparently that doesn't do anything to the counter, because that's Cecil went into the Justice speech after 1 more Dark Wave after that Sylph.
Yeah, it should just be the fight command that would trigger the counter script, and there we have Dark Imps.
Yeah. More importantly, we have a full spell list with Artella now. We have a Paladin Cecil ready to go, and I'm pretty sure both of them did find that Light Sword. So both of their offensive issues are pretty much over.
Absolutely, and this is this is a free ordeal, so it's unfortunate that all these low-level boss spots are going to be quite this easy.
I apologize. I have a dog in the background with a fairly loud toy over there.
And this is one of those fights where you could make use of that Odin summon that they got from Hops, and they get a pink tail. So both tails, no hook.
Both tails, no hook. Progression almost guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed. We still have that. Earth crystal looming, as you say, in that key item slot there. We could be gated by the party crystal, and to be fair, I mean, with edge required, why not?
Yeah, and they, definitely Zilch has the power to breeze through both spots of the Tower of Zod fairly easily.
And there's Odin. That said, I would still probably just stop by the Baron Inn at this point. They should both be able to complete it fairly easily. That Moon Sparkle, like I said, only going to be D-Lunars or Plague. At 400 hit points, not much to worry about. Don't know what's in that second slot yet.
Yeah, I'd be very happy to see D-Lunars there as a runner, splitting the 400 hit points in half, making them both very easy to take. Then you'd also pick up your 5th character and get the ability to have a minor slingshot on Cecil and kind of catch him up in XP pretty fast.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that Drcossack did not loot Baron yet. Did not see that opening coffin either. That might be useful as well. But here's one more Lunar Sparkle. So we've got Plague. So it's D-Lunars who are still at large somewhere.
Drcossack using one of the HP-based items. Unfortunately, they do have the to give you a half point of your HP in damage, so Rosa's not quite enough to take it out on her own, but Cecil does clean it.
That's unfortunate in the second slot. That's Mom Bomb, and while this slot is slow, it still hits fairly hard. Might be one to get possibly a Berserk up on that Cecil here. While we still Zilch, gonna check out that Party Rock here.
It looks like Zilch also might be looking for a Flame Dog here to take advantage of good monsters, or monsters having good trap chest content.
Yeah, level 1 Cecil, Flame Dog not going to be too bad with 2 sources of ice damage coming in here. Does have that coffin as well, could just use that. But you find something like an X-Scowl or a Crystal Sword or something like that, and you're really happy all of a sudden. Also, I see all this pun warfare in chat, and I refuse to take part in it. The only way to win is not to play, I believe they say.
Yes, this is possibly the wrong restream. You'll want Baka Shinobi and maybe Sonic Wrath back to engage in pun warfare with chat. Artemis arrows are a nice pickup though out of that Flame Dog chat.
It would have been useful about 10 minutes ago, a little bit more, but still good to have for later dragon fighting here.
Yeah, and if the runners do find sirens anywhere, that'll definitely make killing the dragon eggs very fast underground.
I mean, the good news is the runners do have most of the Lunar Sparkles out of the way. Do have a few rude bosses still left on the plate, but a lot of them have gone by the wayside already.
Yeah, there's a lot less to fear when you just are walking up to a boss than they did initially. And Mom Bomb finally getting near the explode phase. Let's hope that she does not explode too much on Drcossack's party.
If I recall, Mom Bomb at this slot does do about around 200, I believe, on the explosion. Oh, nope, that was first phase. Gonna try out Odin here. Should actually work on the bombs here, if I'm not mistaken. Does not, might have just not hit there.
Yeah, it does have about a 50-50 chance of actually working, so it might take a couple tries.
Speaking of rude, first boss in the Tower of Zot here is Baigen.
I imagine we're going to see quite a number of self-casts as well as lightsaber swings to take this down.
Yeah. Oh no, all in on Drcossack. Will this Odin? Oh, does get the Odin here with Rydia at 47 hit points. You love to see it.
You do. You get that character to start, and when they carry you through, it's a nice pair of Zeus gauntlets from that, but not progression.
Take that, Rydia haters, right there.
I bet Drcossack was a little bit disappointed to see Odin as the summon from Hobbs, and is now very, very pleased.
So honestly, Zeus Gauntlet's one of those things as a runner in both other Hazemus zones that we were definitely used to having. One of our tools that was definitely been not taken away from us, but we miss it. Zeus Gauntlet's really nice to have here. And looking at Drcossack's Yang, double Cat Claw, Karate, Bandana, and Strength Ring. Couple levels on that Yang, and he's gonna be good to go.
Yeah, gonna be putting out quality damage for Yang, who normally is a little bit slow to get going, but definitely getting all the multipliers necessary early. And Zilch is through that Baigan fight. Rosa picks up Berserk, which will be nice.
Definitely nice to get it out of. I mean, I know people love Tella and all that, but sometimes you just gotta.
Rosa and her higher HP pool is going to be a little bit more reliable with getting that spell off.
Absolutely. I mean, he's great when all you have is that, but we do get the news that Asura is in Dwarf Fortress here. We do get a Palom here as the first character in Zot. What's our second going to be? Now, Zilch does have an open character slot, so is going to pick up at least one of these characters.
And we have a Fu.
Oh my, that's not edge, not required, but you love to see it there. So, does he... What does he kick right now? Telling Tella to take a hike here.
Yeah, with all the bosses that they've fought so far, and we'll probably fight when he does, I imagine he'll be doing Baron in fairly shortly too. We'll get that Fu pretty powered up, and they nuke already.
Yeah, 1,200 hit points, nuke early on this Fu. Not really gonna be mad at that one. Can't go to do D machines just yet. No Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, and we'll not get it from here either. We know D Mist is somewhere else, and there's our last Lunar Sparkle.
Wow, we have found all the moon bosses in a little less than 30 minutes. Although it does look like that Self is not going to do the full job there. It does look like Zilch is going to have Cecil take a swing at Palom to drop him down. That's pretty much all but announcing that he does want to slingshot that Palom.
Yeah, I imagine he knows there's not much XP left available on the overworld, and so if he gets either a Hook Seed, he can use the Mad Ogre chest to get Palom Quake very easily, or get underground and have a number of other options to either do a mini slingshot or looking for the Darkness Crystal to do the full job.
Exit Life 1, Life 2, so just as he kicked out the Exit Mage, the real main character mage, as we will call him, picks up that Exit spell, so... Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, 30 minutes in, 0 objectives, either player, and it's a Hook Seed, just as you called there. Given that Fu already does have access to nuke, I really don't see him going to pick up other bosses right now. But also given that the progression was so far down the line here, this party actually looks pretty good, at least in terms of dealing with anything underground. Gonna see Zilch come in and pick up that Baron item. Gonna be probably a little disappointed at those Zeus Gauntlets, but not too much.
No, not with this Cecil and a lightsaber in hand. That definitely let Cecil do a little more damage and clear those hook bosses a little bit faster.
Yep. I'm interested if Zilch will go for Yang or keep the party as it is at this point.
Yeah, Sylph will still do a decent bit of damage and keep you healed up pretty well through those fights. So it might be worth it to just keep him around, and maybe doesn't like Yang too much, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, Rydia with Sylph here. I know people are a little down on everybody's favorite summoner, but yeah, with that Sylph, especially now that she can use Sylph fairly early in seeds, if you can find it, definitely got a lot of utility. Especially that I've seen Zilch do over 1,600 damage with said summon there. So DPS and healing. What more do you want?
And Zilch looks to make very fast work of this Mom Bomb, having Nuke on his side.
Yeah, the question is here. It's 10,000 plus. No, never mind. That's very easy. 6,000 damage. No need to worry about hitting the damage there. Not going to see an explosion. Find some Zeus gauntlets. We're going under. Well, we still actually have Rat and Pinktail turn-ins. I get ahead of myself.
That's right, that hook does open up both of those checks, so they could be getting some top tier gear out of either one of those, or extra progression out of that rat.
Zilch says, Karate Man, no thanks, we're good.
Can now feel pretty free to sell one or maybe both of those cat claws for a good amount of money.
Yeah, if you're throwing Yang out at this point, that's Zilch also announcing that Yang will not be in future plans here. Does make me wonder here. Cecil and the rest of the party, it's looking a little reflecty right now. With Double Cat, I would probably take a flyer on Yang. I'm not sure who I'd get rid of at this point, though. Our Rat Tail turns into a Twin Harp, so we could still be on the overworld here.
We might see an entire overworld clear minus Baron in, and a Crystal Sword.
Oh my, that's wow, that's a very nice piece of hardware there. You'll love to see it.
You do, and equipping that Zeus Gauntlet now too, when he's got time, finds worth it to equip the Crystal Sword and spend the menu point.
Cecil is more than online at this point.
Yeah, he can now just carry the seed at this point.
So really, I mean, with that Crystal Sword Cecil, there's very little, and it does look like where Zilch is landing, we're gonna have music here in just a little bit. Not chasing that hook, Zilch being a man of the people here, we're gonna have some music momentarily.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate this play, especially when you're still on the overworld, you're still looking for a magma key to maybe not have to go do the hook. Although I would still maybe want to check the hook for an ed.
Yeah, you definitely for a character at least. I do get it, however, especially with how long it took in getting that hook, buried behind an Earth Crystal. So neither of these runners here, both of them likely having to do ordeals, especially to chew through that Baigen early, as we see Cossack just finishing up with said Baigen. Zot was not free.
No, all the freedom was on ordeals, and then Zot's going to was a little more painful with that, and we definitely see where the extra shopping time has helped Zilch out a lot.
Yeah, I'm hearing people, we're saying bets for music, somebody's saying Chrono Trigger music. I'm gonna say we're gonna get, I'm feeling some Mega Man here, actually.
That's very nice in honor of Dr. Cossack. Maybe we'll get a little Mega Man 4.
It does enter with, gonna be able to get one virus off. Not gonna be enough. We might get the whole, trying to kill off his party as quick as possible here. Otherwise, you get me attack you, a lot of cutscene, and then we'll hear music. And when that music comes up, I will drop off comms for just a little bit here, and so we can all enjoy. Yeah, I was definitely not looking at Game of Thrones music, but here we are. We got some Mega Sisters, but we're also seeing Cecil with that crystal sword doing Cecil with crystal sword things.
Yep, and Rosa gets herself a little bit angry and going to take advantage of that mute bow, or the elven bow and mute arrow to do extra damage as well.
So we did actually see on Drcossack's side, did pitch Rydia and Tella in favor of Hallam and Fu. Might have to have some words on him with him there about kicking that Rydia out of the party. Come on now.
Yeah, she's done so much work for him. Maybe he's saying she's done enough, and
Well, actually, I don't.
A little bit.
Yeah, actually, I don't think Drcossack did find that Sylph summon, so probably why here. Getting a lot of these fire counters here. Did get through it there. And we have kitchen utensils at the Dark Elf, so music not required, but hey, it's music, why not?
And when they pick up Edge, Edge will be very happy to throw that for quad 9s.
Yeah. You say only a check from the spoon, but it's 43 minutes. We have not touched underground yet. And they've got 7 key items, so both of them gonna be approaching some pretty decent light towards that double XP here.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like a wasted check at all.
That might be a little like I might not like it immediately, but I mean that's just me. So anyway, both of them, and it does look like Drcossack is going to be turning in for the tails. Don't know if he's going to check that Twin Harp or not when that falls into his hands.
Yeah, it's an interesting play on whether you feel behind or not, and if you think your opponent's going to check that or not, whether or not you find yourself willing.
Yeah. Does get the absolutely great news of a crystal sword.
Zilch picking up some charm arrows out of the Evelyn armor shop or weapon shop.
I mean, probably running out of those mute arrows. Didn't have a ton of them. Is going to be rolling straight out, not checking chests, not going to be seeing if the Stalemen is a live thing here. To be fair, when you have a crystal sword Cecil, I get it.
And there's a requirement.
Yeah. Everybody calling for Vanilla Edge. Well, there you go. Cossack skipping music. Unaware it is the correct play. Gonna be getting that ninja as well. Is stopping for loot, however. Some of it at least. Dr. Luge, however, not exactly threatening at that position.
No, all the split HP will definitely help, and doesn't do a whole lot of damage on physicals there. Looks like Hallam's time has come to the end.
Yeah. Doesn't have a bunch of weapons for Edge. Doesn't really matter too much there. Even just a mute and a dancing dagger. Gonna steal that black belt there. Give it to the man with the crystal sword. Cecil is loaded for a little bit more than bare.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with leaning into a crystal sword as hard as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm. It's throwing the curse ring onto Rydia here. Gonna use her as an anchor at the moment.
We find another curse ring and the Stalemen on Drcossack's side.
Yep. Right for Stalemen may have held A just a little too hard there. Seeing Fu bust out the staff and giving him a righteous bonk there. But that Crystal Sword Cecil already just swinging away for almost 3,000 damage. And then over 3,000 damage, because why not?
Yeah, because Crystal Sword things. And Rosa picks up Blink, which is definitely a nice spell to have.
Getting a Samurai Bow as the reward there. Not terrible. Definitely with that plus 10 strength bonus. Better for raw damage unless you get that, unless you're getting that Elven Bow weakness or the buff to black magic off of it.
Ooh, and a turtle is hiding in the Queen Evelyn spot.
Well, I'd be more afraid of that turtle if Cecil wasn't just going to immediately hit it for 2304. Even if he downs Rosa, here comes the nuke, and with only 6,000 hit points to this slot's name, that's one dead turtle.
Yes, that is soup. I look like Meteo and White out of that level too for food.
Interesting, Drcossack saying no thank you to a ninja. I'm good. I mean, I get that they didn't really have a bunch of weaponry for him, but it's really hard at this point in time to. I might have to ask Drcossack about that one in a bit here. I know you've got a Crystal Sword Cecil, but it's hard to pass up a ninja.
It is, although he did keep Yang, didn't he?
All right, now that Hawkser said it, I'm gonna have to say it. Tonight I dine on turtle soup. Yes, the numbers are Accident's password. However, it changes every 2 seconds, so we do see Zilch get through that initial fight there. No problem whatsoever. Do not even see Balnab Z. While we do have Turtle Soup Part 2 coming in hot over on the other side. One nuke, hiding inside the shell. And with the Crystal Sword likely to come out immediately after. Meanwhile, Zilch just ran right through Luge, no problems whatsoever.
Yeah,
Does
Nuke and
pick up
Crystal
weak.
Sword just doing all the damage. Yeah, that weak is going to be very nice when they find a Darkness Crystal. If they decide to use the D-Machines to grind up to Zeromus levels.
I mean, to be entirely fair, and this is kind of just me, and given what they've already kind of went through, their party levels approaching about 30, does check out, we do have our resident laugh track up on top of the lower Babel. That's Ha 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 himself, Golbez, sitting up there at top of the tower. I'm gonna guess Zilch will not be going that way immediately.
No, I think I would avoid that cutscene and all the dragon killing my characters for as long as I possibly could.
That said, completing my thought earlier, these parties are fairly strong as is. And actually, it does look like Drcossack at the very least will not be, or is he's not setting up a slingshot. It doesn't mean D-Machines are not going to be a thing. But that said, it just kind of seems a little overkill here right now. I got a radiation something on our job dwarf right now, but it is validated.
And there are some ninja swords available for Edge. I bet we see some more inventory dumping.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't need those dwarf axes to. I might have kept one of them, honestly, just to play with Cecil's agility in the end, because he's a really easy character, especially at the end game, to move somewhere close to about 28 there. But yeah, it's everything must go. We've got ninja swords. Why not? So we've got, they've got Crystal Sword Cecil, Double Ninja Edge. Honestly, that's all you need for physical. Got Hourglass 2's also in Tamra. Everybody, Zilch is saying, shut up and take all of my money. I want all of this.
Yes, definitely finding lots of good stuff there, and heading immediately to the Fey Marsh after that. Gonna check the free chest, as well as probably peek at the bosses and see if Leviathan might be at his normal spot or just shifted over one.
Yeah, I would actually, I would not be surprised if he doesn't. I mean, I definitely see a Fey Marsh boss check. We haven't seen, especially with a couple of those Hourglass, we haven't seen a lot of the freebies drop by yet. Water Hag, Typo Guards, the Baron Guards, a lot of things right now that could still be utterly free, could be in those Asura and Leviathan spots. Does find a slightly inferior Paladin sword in an Excalibur in the Rat Tail chest. Probably going to be thrown.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Edge is happy to take that hand-me-down and just tosses a one-time use.
Cecil was going to put that Excalibur on his mantle, but Edge decided it looked better in a monster side.
I think that's a good trade.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think Dark Knight Cecil is the only quote-unquote free boss that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'd put Yang in as well in this flag set, since most of the time you'll be able to have a Paladin Cecil. There's not free in...
That is not free and definitely not free. Is that Rubicon or is that Elements?
That is Rubicon.
Mm-hmm.
So just going straight for it.
I mean, is probably going to be able to eat those... well, let's see how big this Fire 2 counter is. A little strong, but... Oh, Dark Imps. We did see Dark Imps. That was free, yes.
Yes, thank you, chat. It was part of the free ordeals.
Speaking of places, throw that Excalibur. There it went. Ooh, they're doing a casual 2500 to Fusoya there.
And Sylph doing just enough to kind of counteract one of those fire counters. Looks like Rosa should be able to cure 2 to keep the party up most of the way there. And Cecil just doing an obscene amount of damage.
Yep. Zilch, all hands on deck mode. That looked like the spoon being queued up to be thrown as well here. But even with that counter Fire 2 coming out, should be, oh my, that's casual 2100 damage from Rosa there, or to Rosa.
Yeah, this Fire does not play around with its physical attacks.
Yeah, those Fire 2's only going to get stronger the amount of characters down. However, one more shot from Cecil. Rubicon is down. Very impressive from Zilch here. What's our reward? Other than full power?
Just an Artemis bow. Which is nice, but definitely worth the reset.
Yeah, definitely kind of wants to get that spoon and Excal back, I would assume. And is bailing out, doesn't want any part of that other boss fight.
I do not blame him. Even though the Asura spot doesn't hit quite as hard, Evil Wall is a jerk and will punch you very fast.
Is doing what I thought he would do here. You love to try to get all the easy pan checks, or where the pan could be, out of the way. Still looking for Leviathan. Dwarf Castle's going to give you 2 bosses and another key item check. And Sirens, apparently.
Yeah, another reason to empty out the inventory with whatever you have not yet sold. That Ogre Axe is definitely going to be nice.
I mean, did he not have that Ogre Axe? I might have sold that Excal for Sirens at that point.
It would probably be the time efficient play.
Okay.
Drcossack seeing Rubicant and looks like resetting. That is a very unfortunate reset.
Well, speaking of value at Dwarf Castle, we got just a bit more here in that D-Mist.
Yeah, definitely a lot of value in Dwarf Castle here.
The one boss Paladin Cecil does not like to see does have a... Oh no, Dr. Cossack must have picked a fight. I did have to refresh for a moment. It must have picked a fight with that evil wall, had to reset, and did not have a save at...
Yeah, I forgot to save before going to peek those bosses. That's very, very unfortunate. Luckily, these are fairly fast fights, so isn't losing that much time. It's kind of like he went to go do the Twin Harp check almost.
Yeah, I can't really say anything. I've totally been there.
Yeah, I imagine everybody has. You feel like you've got this handled, and then you just kind of forget to make that save. We get a Sid, who looks like is going to replace Rydia as an anchor.
Yeah, that's
leaning hard into the melee.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with all the melee that's right there, yeah, I see that there. Much as I hate to see Rydia go, rip Team Rydia.
Yeah, she's done a lot of work, deserves to take a rest and get some drinks.
Unfortunately, all the Bacchus seems to be off of the moon, or off of the Earth right now. That said, I need to take care of something real fast. I will be back in about 1 minute here.
Okay.
Yep.
And Cossack fighting through those fights in Upper Babel a second time. It's almost done, just has to go through Luge. And we'll wait and see what we get out of Dwarf Castle, and then hopefully Zilch remembers to go check the D-Mist right away. Zilch not going to be unhappy with that pass out of Dwarf Castle. Will save time if they have to be back on Earth when they complete their last objective, or maybe we'll be able to go straight from doing the giant into Zeromus, not having to go back to them. And is required, actually. I forgot about objective number 4. And going with the immediate check on that D-Mist that he fought as the first boss in the Calbrina spot. Good to remember. It's very easy to forget once you get a second boss, as well as be able to complete an objective. And find an Avenger, because Cecil needed to possibly be better. Can now berserk himself, and take advantage of a little bit of a glitch that if you have equipped the Crystal Sword at the beginning of a fight and then switch to the Avenger and don't take any actions, you'll immediately be berserked with the stats of the Crystal Sword.
Alright, I apologize for having to take care of an animal there real quick. One thing that will actually help Dr. Cossack here, did only see an Excalibur in the chest, and even if Dr. Cossack does not know it, with the Rubicon slot only having that Artie bow, maybe not so much pressured to stay away from Fate Mark, but definitely may not want to go back.
Yeah, I would definitely take the advantage to just not visit there until you have to at this point. And while you're gone, we did pick up a pass out of Dwarf Castle and the Avenger off of Demons.
Oh my!
And our restreamer Drcossack asking if the Avenger Berserk overpowers Crystal Armor's Berserk Prevention, and that's true. If you have Crystal Armor and an Avenger Sword, the Avenger wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Avenger overpowers just about anything that would try to keep Cecil from berserking there. Then we are right. Drcossack saying, yeah, I don't feel like going to the Feymarch right now. Let's head to Dwarf Castle. And with what you just said, going to be the absolute correct play. Just based on, I mean, they do need the pass. The pass is required for number 4 there. So good things all around in that Dwarf Castle. Dath is asking in chat, did he just get a siren? And I will say yes, he just did, because those yellow dragons apparently do drop sirens. I have had them drop for me as well.
Yes, it's definitely a feels-good moment when you get a siren, and when you use a siren and get one, especially when it's your last siren, or you've done just a very early egg grind to get a bonus one. And it looks like Zilch, after doing eggs, it feels very comfortable just going straight to the tower and go seeing Cecil's brother to have a few words.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close to last locationing some of this. Zilch's only options at this point are top of Akila's tower and going back down to have words with the Asura spot and that evil wall, which, as you said, no, but none of us really want a piece of, because that is a very rude spot.
Yeah, they do also have Panless Sheila. They could check Sheila 1.
Oh, true. I have done that.
Yeah, none of them are terribly appealing. This, at least you get to reset out of very fast, and if it's not your desired objective. Hawk Laser, we have actually not seen Sheila 1 yet. Neither runner has dipped into the Sylph Cave.
Meanwhile, Drcossack saying, no thank you to Sid, I'm good. Evil Wall is in the Asura spot, and the Feymarch get cooped.
And Asura is nuked right out of existence on Drcossack's side. We'll soon be getting his pass and getting the opportunity to go up and visit Rydia's mom and get an Avenger if he so desires.
Zilch trying to swing the odds in favor of keeping either Cecil or Fu upright. Gonna get one of them here by virtue of just dropping Rosa and Sid as quickly as possible in that fight.
Yeah, it's a pretty heads-up play to make sure that your main damage dealers in this fight are gonna make it out alive.
Now, the really good news for anybody who sees a Golbez at this spot, and down goes Cecil, unfortunate, because he probably would have done quad 9s to Golbez with that crystal sword, honestly. It's the top of the tower. Magic attack, not really a thing up here. Might just be able to forego the whole let's throw some walls on. This virus going to do a whole 280 damage.
Yeah, I imagine we might see Edge Life up Cecil. Looks like we will, and Cecil's still going to get a chance to do those quad 9s.
Yeah, the Golbez, not a good day to be having that whole holy weakness. Here comes the Avenger glitch. Not sure he needs it at this point. It might have just took one swing from Cecil here, but if you're gonna do it, why not go all out? I guess. Only a casual 8500.
Not too bad.
Drcossack about to get the very good news of an Avenger. Meanwhile, we get a kind of a fetch quest on top of the tower. Yeah, gonna have to walk that one out.
For sure, but it does give you 2 more key item checks as well as 3 boss spots. I don't remember who it was that gave us our initial item.
That is a good question. Bacon Pie Cecil is the younger brother. So while we do have that Baron key, the Sheila 1 check and Evil Wall Adasura still possible. Hold that Darkness Crystal, or a Pan, or our Darkness Crystal, yeah. And Leviathan still at large somewhere.
Yeah, and going back to check the tape, it looks like it was a bunch of dolls who gave us our initial starting items.
Yeah, and now that I remember, now that you bring that up, I do recall something of there being a few creepy dolls at the.
And Maggie also confirming in chat. Thank you, Maggie, who is our wonderful tracker tonight.
It looks like Drcossack is going to pick up that Excalibur again. No edge to throw it, though. But probably, I would say, maybe taking another shot. Yeah, staying at the end. Definitely going to be taking another shot at Feymark bosses here. I mean, if you guys are ready for the long haul, I am totally ready for the long haul, Chad.
Yeah, and with Crystal Sword Cecil in the party, it's not going to be that long of a long haul. This will be, even if they have to full clear the seed, it won't be that long.
It will be a long but slightly abridged haul.
Maybe just 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah. I definitely kind of want to see here. It's bugging me right now. I kind of hope. No, he's going straight for Rubicant there. But I definitely kind of want to see just what that Asura spot is hiding if Drcossack goes back for. Rubicant deciding he really didn't want to get Ice 3 today. Takes out Fu before that cast can finish.
And Zilch clearly remembers who the initial boss was, does a little party rearranging, and makes sure Quake is early up in Fu's spell list.
Now, I think, no, we did see Cecil take 1700 from that Rubicant Glare there. Glare does actually target physical damage, not magic, so that is a physical attack. Gonna Curse String Cecil there. Gonna go for Fire Absorption.
That's not a bad play.
And had they been going to Baron any earlier, that is a very unfortunate Valvalis early in the seed, but Crystal Sword Cecil and Double Ninja Edge doesn't really care about Valvalis at this point.
No, they're pretty happy to go cut right through the wind in the tornado. They're still going to be doing some reduced damage because they will miss a lot of their hit rolls.
But with only about 4,000 hit points to cut through.
Yeah, Cecil just needs to connect a couple of times and get a bit of an assist. Flurry pointing out in chat that Cecil might not get too much of any opportunity to attack in this fight with that Cursed Ring. Definitely harms the agility, will make him noticeably slower than Palom.
Yeah, not sure. We find a Porum. We do find the sister in Baron Castle, and Zilch says, "Nah, no thanks." Don't blame him there.
No, too little, too late. With Rosa already in your party for a while.
Yeah, he'll get through. The question here, Drcossack, is it is a totally viable, legitimate strategy, as Cecil will survive those hits with Glare, but is not coming out with a lot of offense. There's the Darkness Crystal in Baron.
Yeah, and there's the problem with doing that strategy. Cecil doesn't have quite enough armor here, even in the back row, and that double hit takes him.
At this point, might just want to cut losses and head out here. Might want to walk out with those sirens, do a little bit of a grind before. And does look to be exiting the Vaymar here.
Yeah, maybe doing a little bit of extra looting to maybe afford some extra stuff, like that Earth Hammer will sell very nicely. And here we have elements in the Baron Throne.
Very crowded throne here.
Just shy of 9,000 from Cecil off of that first hit.
Blink and you will miss that one. And an immediate reset upon seeing a defense sword. Great if Kane was here. Kane's not here.
No, Kane's probably not making the team at this point, with Zilch already having done a little bit of a grind.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Zilch is plenty set. I think the only thing that would really make him think about moving a character here is if something like a duplicate Fusoya showed up.
Yeah, I'd also take a duplicate Cecil if he still has that X-Cal.
True, that's secondary X-Cal. It's hard to say no to Holy Sword wielders at that point. Got Drcossack gonna make the Sheila 1 check that I don't think we've seen yet, have we?
I don't think so either, so this will be some new information for us, while Zilch is summoning the whale and preparing to go to the moon, maybe even preparing to just go straight to the giant.
Yeah, it does look like Zilch has a bit of a lead here, but if Drcossack turns up something big off the Sheila 1 check, you know, say a Vanilla Pan.
Yeah, Vanilla Pan or even a Luca key with Leviathan hiding behind that key.
Yeah. Yeah, we're down to Pan and Leviathan in terms of things our runners need. It's, you know, you haven't seen many of them yet, and Zilch is making an absolute great play through this seed. But it's an hour 15, and they have one objective. If you're not sweating at that point a little bit,
yeah, they both do know they have an extra objective. The fourth objective, their second to possibly complete, is sitting in their back pocket, ready to go to Zeromus.
Yeah, that is one thing here.
But I do like Zilch's play, just to make sure you get an objective out of the way. You'll finish all of your levels, and you'll absolutely stomp through the moon.
Only a life staff on Sheila 1. Great to have, but not the thing Drcossack was gonna need to catch up a little bit here. But yeah, that's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is one key item short of 10 because that pass doesn't count. Is gonna get a pile of XP here. Could be slightly more. I get greedy in that point, but
it could be more. But looks like he's in the mid-30s already, so it doesn't need too much.
Yeah, not with this team. Nobody is really that experience hungry. Do have Drcossack gonna be going and grabbing that spoon off of music, and wow, that's we've got free right there in the element spot. That's a water hag.
You'll love to see it as our runner. This is gonna feel very, very good.
Well, Evil Wall maybe not so much required, Miare. There's a Darkness Crystal, so the moon is open and is free and open for business, yes. That haunted moon.
Yeah, I imagine that Zilch will full clear the moon before going to visit that evil.
Down goes Water Hag. There's the Arg. Have your free, what is
100,000, I think.
Cool 100,000 XP right there.
Yeah, there's probably 4 to 5 levels on everybody, except Fu.
Yeah, this is something I'm excited about. The next battle. The next battle is, if Elements is a marathon, then CPU is a sprint, unless you find something just as free there. If just because what you find there has only about, I don't know exactly how many HP he does have, it's low, I want to say a little bit over 20k, but has some of the strongest physical and magic attack stats in the game. Depending on who shows up at CPU, they can wreck surprising amounts of your face.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere close to 30,000 overall, but absolutely, can be a scary spot.
It's the ultimate gauntlet!
That's amazing. All that 200,000 XP or 150,000 you can get here, not quite the same. I guess we could do a D machine grind if we want. I'm not sure if that's actually in the pool for this fight.
That's a good question there. It looks like he's actually targeting the searcher in the back here. Maybe not. There could be a D machine. It could just be a horseman. We're not sure. We might find out if
this next blow does not kill it.
I don't know if Quake's gonna do the job here.
Actually, don't. Oh, no, not quite.
It's a D machine.
That's amazing. We're gonna get an hourglass. We're not actually gonna go through a full D machine grind. Cecil's just gonna beat him up with the crystal sword.
Julison, I do not believe that this song was removed. I believe it was the Pirates of the Caribbean song that was removed. So, sure, maybe not a real D machine grind, but hey, there's 62,000 XP. I mean, by the end of this, Zilch could actually have quite a bit more than that 150,000 promised here. Those Mac Giants hitting just a little hard here. The one thing that Zilch did Avenger glitch Cecil in that first fight is gonna be stuck with the Avenger for the rest of it all here.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't carry over the stats even in the Fabul Gauntlet because it does count as a new fight, so you get recalculated attack.
I mean, thankfully that Avenger's still a pretty good sword even without the glitch, but
yeah, still gives you extra strength, and he has that. I think still has a black belt and Zeus Gauntlet and headband, so Cecil's still doing a good amount of damage. Getting some blinks up so that Rosa can get some more XP here.
And we're on to fight 3, which, hey, found another D machine.
Yep, breaks out a quick weak. This will be a nice quick fight.
He's gonna lose both Rosa and Sid to that fire, though. I might need to, gonna be a little hard with Cecil just swinging for the fences here. Getting a little dicey in terms of party health here.
Yeah, this might be Cecil just soloing the last one or two.
Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, he's gonna be, Food gonna need a little bit of help here. This is a rude gauntlet, honestly.
Yeah, I know I haven't ever fought one here, so I would not have been aware how rude this could be.
Going for the hourglass. Might get it off here.
Yeah, gets it off. We'll see if Fu actually survives if the enemies had any attacks queued up.
Going for the life on Rosa might be a little. Well, Cecil's not going to one-shot that Mac Giant. Should be able to get off at least one Cure 4, maybe. Cecil, stop destroying your enemies! Okay, there we go. Crisis averted. That should be plenty for the last fight.
And Drcossack entering the Golbez fight will hopefully soon get his Baron key and can get on this road as well. And more mech giants and might be out of those hourglasses.
Has
there's
one more in the
left.
inventory, yeah. Might want to save it for something rude on the moon. Tossing a Ether 2 over to Fu there. Yeah, an alternate column like this would chew through Fu's MP. I would say actually probably got a lot more than that 150 normally promised here at the normal CPU spot.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a couple of 60s and a 40, and this I think should be another 60k.
Mm-hmm. And all I can think of is imagine how much XP that'd be on 10 key items. That's your whole grind right there.
Yeah, that's probably level 50 something. And we'll see who we get out of this, who is not going to be picked up at all.
How hard do you kick out Edward right here?
You kick him straight into the next seed. I mean, after that grind that you had to do there, you are not going to do Eddie strats. So have a fun time. Go playing it. Go playing it a bar somewhere.
I love seeing Eddie strats, but yeah, Eddie strats is just one of those things where it's got to take the perfect storm for it. However, you were right. Zilch says, yeah, I've got like maybe one or two overworld checks left right now. Oh, okay, it's rolling only one. It's time for the moon. Don't blame him whatsoever. But is he going straight for the memes? Everybody, is there value at Cape Bahamut?
Yeah, definitely not a bad check. You'll be able to see right away with the boss, and hopefully the boss isn't too rude here, in case you do want to fight it.
Well, I mean, Zilch does have a pile of, yeah, that's a level 46 Cecil. Mid-40s, everybody else other than Fusoya should have almost no trouble with anybody here, no matter who shows up in Cape Bahamut.
Yeah, Dark Imps would be one of the few things I would actually not want to see, although he does still have the hourglass.
Yeah. We have
how hard this fights.
True, but we did see Dark Elves back in the Paladin Chamber.
And there is a free fight here.
Yep. Now I remember them finding coffins somewhere. Super free. Going for swag stone strats. Does take a little bit to fire up here. Does he get it? Yep, he gets it.
Yeah, it's usually not worth life glitching in this fight, especially with all the XP he's gotten. So doing that stone is pretty fast, and gets a legend sword, so half of an Excal.
Half of an Excal. Inventory already bursting with legendary weaponry. Actual legendary weaponry.
But that is also our 10th key item.
True. Does have sirens, I believe, in his pack still. Don't know about, you said, I believe he has one more hourglass. Might have, well, I mean, I said he had his grind done.
Yeah,
there's no reason to fire up one just for gold dragons at this point.
No, it still needs the pan, so it's still probably going to be fighting most of the bosses, and we'll keep at least one of their XP.
Yep. Now, I do not believe we've seen our duplicate yet, so on the Lunar Throne, we've got Kane. Hi, Kane. Bye, Kane.
Yep, you can take this defense sword on your way out that we didn't actually take.
Neobari, yes, we're this far into it. They technically both have 4 in their back pocket, as stated earlier. They both do have the pass. Neither of them are really going to open the door until it's time for Zeromus. So yeah, both of them are pretty much looking. Yeah, we're pretty much in find the pan, find Leviathan.
Yeah, since both runners will probably end up on the Earth, returning the pan to Yang's wife, then can just go straight there to Troya and knock out both those objectives at the same time.
So the giant is out of the pool. Is package the rudest point where that Leviathan could be hiding at this point still?
Oh, absolutely. Since we had a required hook route, I think package behind Evil Wall is probably the trolliest possible thing we have left.
Next to Leviathan behind garbage at the Darkness Crystal spot.
Yeah, that too.
You did get stone off on the back ones here. I'm gonna assume that's a Quake Pal. Oh, it's just a virus. Should be enough for the front dolls here. It is.
Yeah, not that much spot there. Not much HP at the Bygant spot and split all those ways.
Mm-mm. Zilch did do one of the standard let's dive to the bottom here. Magius, yes, music was heard. We had a Game of Thrones. Hi, CPU. You've got a few hit points here.
Yeah, you're kind of obnoxious, but also we have Crystal Sword Cecil, who probably takes care of most of it.
Yeah, and I believe I just saw Swag started up on that Fusoya here. Incoming Meteo.
That might be a time. Looks like we're going to get some darts. Hovers over that Avenger, realizes that's a bad idea. Switches down to the spoon.
Quad 9's there. With that Meteo charging, why not just shift right into that Avenger and just start swinging? There goes Meteo, down goes the attacker. The clock is starting to tick now.
And there's the Crystal Sword Avenger doing the rest of the work.
Mm-hmm. Levels for everybody, white for Rosa. There's our pan, so it is just a Leviathan hunt now.
Yeah, I imagine we'll just see a lot of, hi, are you Leviathan? No, goodbye, I'll just leave you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're down to. Now, I mean, it could still be... It's kind of hard to say that. There's still Luca Key out there. There's still Tower Key out there. There's still the pack... Never mind. There he is. Everything down. Not sure why the reset there. Might have said, oops, I left the Avenger. Okay, yep, oops, I left the Avenger on.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be too bad there.
Yeah.
There's not that much HP, and you're not really afraid of anything Leviathan's doing in that spot.
But with that Leviathan, Zilch has pretty much went from 3 of those blacked out objectives in one fell swoop, has pretty much almost immediately entered go mode.
Yes, and Magius, you did indeed see both the Excalibur and the Spoon thrown to get rid of that CPU as fast as possible. Definitely a very good play there. Just, you don't want to hang around that fight.
Yeah, I totally agree with Excal getting tossed out there, the Spoon getting tossed out there. I mean, you're probably just going to Berserk Edge here with this party into the Zeromus fight anyway, with 2 Ninja Edges. Why not just throw all of your highbrow stuff at CPU? He's a jerk anyway. He probably deserved it.
Exactly, and in case that's not what you needed, you just reset out and get him back.
Mm-hmm. Down goes Leviathan. One last bit of XP. This team is loaded for absolute bear. Probably gonna get a curse ring on that Sid. A ribbon, why not?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, that down.
The headgear.
Yep. And Zilch likely to just step on the gas here on the way to, I would say probably about a 140 here.
Yeah, still has to go hit Young on the head with the pan and go back up and then get in the pass door. So 140 sounds about right.
Yep. Drcossack gonna find a few of the things here. Actually gonna be really good here. Just because probably gonna do the same thing. Walk on down to the bottom. Gonna find the pan. Gonna find Leviathan. Still got a lot, maybe a lot much ground to make up here. But if Drcossack does run down to the bottom of the moon, won't be rabbit holed.
No, definitely
very
will make up
least.
some time. We'll get 10 key items for going to the giant and won't have to do any grinding at all.
Yep. Meanwhile, Drcossack making the 11th hour character swap here, saying, Dragoon? Yeah, sure, I'll take one of those. Does have a dwarf extra back row. Must have some. Does have a gun here at least, so does have some bit of weaponry to throw to that Dragoon here.
Yeah, and Kane will catch up very fast.
Does have 8 key items by the tracker, so won't get that double XP, but will actually get the double XP inside the giant, especially with that alt gauntlet, exactly where it counts.
Yep. And looks like the Zilch gave us a nice little present, but Magnum Key's a little bit late.
Well, how else was Yang supposed to visit them? For a second there, Cossack went left, and I thought, oh, don't go top down, don't go top down. And did not, so hey.
Good job preventing him from going top down.
Zilch getting that life staff. And a Leviathan, a little late on that too there. Riddy is already on vacation. Oh, Drcossack does have hourglasses, does have weak, has pretty much the gold dragon grinding kit.
Yep,
ready to go
Kane,
here.
Probably going to get Kane up to some useful levels too really quickly. And as Zilch is getting some final inventory adjustments and stuff and getting ready to turn in that pass door, I see some flags out in chat. I think you have a very important question to ask.
Only the most important question, with all those Z flags out there, we see the crystal teleporting into Zilch's inventory at exactly the correct time with that pass. Just ask the question, everybody, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
See a lot of flags out in chat today, but not a whole lot of guesses.
I know, right? I was actually very happy earlier. I did see I did find an actual new Zeroman's flag to me there, especially as an old kind of Darkwing Duck fan. Seeing Negaduck actually out there, I was actually really happy to see. I kind of want to see him again now.
Yeah, and we do have a whole bunch of new Z sprites in with the 4.0, and I haven't seen very many of them, so definitely would be interested to see some of Skull Kitty's new work.
Yeah, new work aside, I still have a favorite. I have not seen her in forever. Legend of Mana Mana Goddess out there. Definitely one of my favorites going forward, but plenty of good ones out here. As I do see Drcossack pulling into the LST7 save point. Gonna be very happy in a little bit. Might be less when that dot done comes out here.
Yeah, Zilch has switched Cecil from that Crystal Sword to the Avenger, just hovering over the menu until where the Avenger gets the chance to take off.
And we got Proto Man there. No whistle, redo.
Oof, Cecil doing an awful lot of damage very fast.
It's always, you don't get to see Zeus Gauntlet, Crystal Sword Cecil too much anymore, just because of some of the things that were introduced here, but you just love to see those giant numbers come out of Cecil on a fight like this.
And it looks like Fu has his arms raised on Drcossack's side. We might be seeing another Meteor.
I mean, it is, memes aside, it is actually one of my favorite things to do to a CPU. It just cuts through that wall. It's 99.99, and yes, this spot CPU does have 35,000 hit points, and you like to have the Berserks up as well. Looks like that might be the case here. Got a lot of hit points to chew through here. Might be queuing up another, does not have another Meteor to queue up here. Might be sitting on a Quake or Lifes after those globes come out, and there's the first one. Cecil is getting quite a few good hits in on both sides of the screen here, on both CPU and Protomus over there. Another casual 5 grand followed by Reflected White, going full on hybrid it looks like here. Sid just kind of kicking back, got the wall spell up and ready. Not really feeling the need to do much, not really having to do much with the damage that is just coming out here.
No, there's not really much for an engineer to do in this fight at this point.
Kick back, relax, and say, yeah, I did a good job building all of this.
Yes, this game is all entirely because of Sid and his Enterprise.
Yep. Sid got the heroes where they needed to be.
You can see just how valuable it was to have Edge on Zilch's side, and there's a flash and a done for Zilch. GG.
GG, and I believe we do have an official SRL time just about where we called it at 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 18 seconds. Very well played. And we're going to see if we get Zilch in for an interview here in just a bit. Actually, we have Zilch in right now, actually.
Hello.
GG, Zilch.
Thank you.
Definitely kind of a little academic there. One question I definitely want to ask you here is, before you dropped into the lunar subterranean to get that pan, how much were you possibly sweating that it was back on Earth behind Evil Wall at Asura?
It was definitely in the back of my mind. I definitely could have easily done it with a Crystal Sword Cecil, so it's a decent amount of sweat there. I just didn't want to double dip back to Fabul, or not Fabul, Feymarch, so I was like, you know what, if it's there, and Cossack wants to spend the time on Evil Wall, GG.
Yeah, well, what actually did happen in that case there, and it was really unfortunate, is Drcossack did take a swing at Evil Wall, unfortunately did take a reset, only to find himself back at the back in the upper Babel, did not save, lost quite a bit of time having to go back through those 2 fights, King Queen Evelyn and Rubicant again.
Very rough.
Yeah.
I guess the never Feymarch advice is still going strong.
The other big thing is, especially the beginning of that seed, you did a absolute ton of looting and did pay off for you later there, at least in the sense that you ended up kind of shooting a little bit ahead, but you both of you started out. The offense just was not there until Cecil showed up, and then it kind of snowballed from the light sword into that crystal sword, and you both just kind of started rolling downhill after that.
I was kind of setting up for D Machine reflect strats, and then all of a sudden Crystal Sword Cecil appeared, and I was like, all right, let's get rid of the mages. Out you go. We don't need you anymore. And then the Avenger just sealed the deal, so like, yep, just dump them all.
Yeah, you definitely leaned hard onto that Cecil, who showed up at just the right time for you.
Yeah, and you really weren't dodging the crystal sword wherever you went. Given it, I mean, it was right there. You both weren't really gonna get out of the way of it.
I mean, you're gonna turn in the rat tail, so Pigtail's just gonna get turned in. There's no reason not to.
Other than that, I mean, any other thoughts? I mean, obviously you just you did do the. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to ask. How much were you sweating that CPU fight down to 2 characters, Fu down to 80 HP when that last Hourglass came out?
Oh, I thought you meant the actual CPU boss. I was like,
oh no,
that one went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized there was a good chance I was going to reset if or wipe if that Hourglass didn't get off in time there. So yeah, about on a little more on that one than on Evil while having the pan.
Yeah, that was probably the roughest gauntlet I've seen. I have not seen it in K Bahamut yet. I have not found one of those just yet, but that was one of the rougher Fabul gauntlets I have seen there. Did give you a smidge more XP than the normal, and actually, at least on the delay, we do see Drcossack about to enter the Giant. Gonna have that double XP going through there. Isn't aware that first fight, we were all joking about it in chat, is that first fight gave you a instant D-Machine grind should you have wanted it.
Yeah, I just realized both of the Giant fights are blue robes.
Yeah.
One of them, but yeah. I was like, going into the first time, like, all right, please don't be the Gauntlet. And I'm like, all right, good. Water Hag. Second fight, oh.
It took me just like a second to process. I'm like, that's not a boss. That's exactly what that is.
And I had no desire to grind anything once I had the Crystal Sword Cecil online. I was like, all right, do like 2 Sirens and Eggs and pretty much good to go any XP through the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. If you get a strong enough party, I kind of feel like I do kind of feel like the D-Machines, like, everybody loves them, and I get it for the correct party, but, I mean, you just get real ultimate physical power, and it's like, you don't need them. You just chew through the rest of the seed and get your XP as you go.
I mean, this seed was screaming D-Machine from the beginning. You got to tell us start. Giant required, and then, yeah, no. D-Machine never happened. Crystal Sword Cecil trumps all.
Yes.
Avenger.
All right, Ansadale, you have anything else you want to ask here?
No, I think you covered everything. GG Zilch. That was excellently run, and welcome to 2-0. How do you feel about pretty much feeling comfortable about being able to get into at least the play-in brackets with only needing 1 more win?
Feels good. Just knowing that competition's just gonna keep getting harder, and I find 1 versus 1 is a lot more stressful than the Zenith Zone was. Something about, like, you know, your opponent can dot done at any time, and you just don't know when it will come. I don't know. It didn't feel as bad in the Zenith Zone where you're fighting against like 3 other people, and it's like, oh, if someone dot dones, then you can metagame it and kind of get back in it. Here, it's like once the dot done comes in, you've lost.
Yeah, it's a little more stressful in that regard. At least in the early rounds here, like especially with like in the qualifiers where you just had like, yeah, you pretty much had like top 10 one of them, and just to get into the brackets, and it's kind of like, okay, this one, and I actually love the 1v1 format, even if it is just a little more stressful at the beginning of it, especially with me going 0-1 on the first one here.
I'm not saying I don't like it, I'm just saying it's a lot more stressful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely a ton of fun, honestly. So yeah, definitely glad to see both of you kind of get through the seed. Drcossack not too far behind you. After clearing the Giant, all it has to do is turn in the pan and go to the Z fight, so is not going to be too far in getting there, despite that alternate gauntlet coming up here in just a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like Drcossack is probably comfortable with Cecil being an agility anchor since he did use a coffin on him in that fight.
Yeah, that is true. Don't know if he's actually going to be able to get that. That alternate gauntlet's going to be a little mean for keeping a Cecil down, as we did see Zilch have a ton of trouble there. Never mind. Does have like 9 hourglasses. Probably will start each fight off with them. I can't say I completely agree with that. Your Cecil has a crystal sword. Let your Cecil free roam. With that party, Yong did pick up that cane off the moon. Gonna be able to pretty much just stoke any big bang that comes his way. I just like that crystal sword just to be swinging for full power, honestly.
Yeah, there have been plenty of curse rings too in this seed, so you could just slap a curse ring on Fu if you wanted to go with three berserkers.
Gonna drop. Just wanted to say thanks for restreaming commentary, guys, and tracking.
Absolutely, GG, and like I said again, hope to see you. I mean, we will see you much more later on in the tournament, but very well played. And that was Zilch there, and we see this gauntlet with the extra hourglasses going a lot smoother for Drcossack actually, and you do see that sheer amount of XP just pouring in from that double XP. Like I said, only going to be a pan turn in a way to take it as a Roman's fight. Is not going to be long here, especially with this party coming in.
Yeah, no, it is all over but the crying for his Aromas. Just a little bit of time to get there.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely impressive. I mean, I know, like Zilch just said, as soon as Crystal Sword Cecil came up, mage strats were out the window because you had real ultimate power, honestly. So I totally get that, actually. So, and the fun thing is, actually, and I just totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but it does show just how flexible you might want to be as a runner in order to, once you get ultimate power just kind of handed to you, say, cool, that strat that I was planning to set up for, I don't need to actually do anymore. I have a better plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember actually some of the early Zima Zone, or even before that, just like the crystal hunts where you could find that opening crystal and you could have, like, you know, Rosa Edge and somebody, you know, in your party, and you're like, well, I'm ready to go to Zeromus right now. Let's hit some eggs and, you know, two-person this.
Yeah, and I imagine there'll be some objective sets where that's actually going to be a thing. We've definitely seen throughout this tournament sometimes where 4 of the objectives are done in the first 20 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah, it's definitely a little fewer and far between, and I can't say anything to that because every time I roll a practice seed, especially this morning, everybody's like, well, okay, it's this, and, oh yeah, finish the giant off while you're at it. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I mean, as you're seeing, hey, we got giant seeds here, and, you know, they're not short.
No, they're not. You do need a decent amount of levels to get through both boss sets here, especially if you have a particularly rude boss here at CPU or some high damage ones in the element spot, just with all the HP you need to chew through there.
Yeah, I mean, it could go fast. We do remember, and giant percent is still a thing out there, or even giant as a victory condition. To answer the question in chat, yes, Gauntlet is now specific to the zone it's in. So if you find it on, say, let's say the, you know, vanilla spot, you're gonna get, like, you know, maybe a few bombs, skeletons, things like that. If you find it in, you know, let's say Cave Bahamut, you're probably going to be getting gold dragons. I don't know if behemoths come out of that as well. Place I really wouldn't want to see it there is in the Ogopogo spot, because I'm pretty sure that would pull core enemies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you definitely get greeted by some evil masks and some red dragon fights. I think you get a single and a double red dragon fight out of that one. It is not fun. I know at the beginning of the Gauntlet, Rivers McCown had posted some thoughts about things you might want to do in a seed, and one of them was keep some Dragoon gear around just for the Gauntlet on the moon.
Yeah. Well, anywhere on Moon, I mean, even if you find it like, where, let's say, Pale Dim, you're still going to be greeted by, gold dragons, warlocks, many things that you probably don't want to see. I totally glossed over that Edward trying to join in the back of the giant last time. Edward showing his face as our duplicate character as well. Things you don't like to see, but yes.
Yes, Eddie once again shows up, saves you from the giant, and then you say, "No, cool, we're fine."
He works a lot better off screen. Let's be real.
Yes, for sure. All his trickery is for when he's not actually in the game.
But to be fair, it's the bard's job to tell the story, not live it, right?
Exactly. The designers of Final Fantasy IV never gave him quite enough HP unless you get into some truly ludicrous levels for him to actually be an effective character on his own in the end game.
And then when you got him to level 70, they're like, well, let's just make him Superman at this point.
Yeah, because why not? If you've spent the time, at least in vanilla, of getting Edward to 70, you deserve that reward.
It does make you wonder, unless somebody was doing what was it, the Game Genie back then, I believe it was, saying, well, let's just put everybody to level 99 and see what happens, and then they see Edward and they're like, hey, what happened here?
Yeah, that would have been a fun Easter egg as a kid if I had ever run into that.
Super Bard. I joke a little bit. I remember Edward Percent back in the World Series of Free Enterprise, and given the right stuff, I mean, a party of Edwards with arty bows is kind of scary, honestly.
Yeah, you can do a lot of work, and give him arty bow or his spoon if you have the spoon flag turned on, and Adamant at Spoonward is definitely a sight to see.
Drcossack doing a little bit of shopping here. Might have, not sure what he's looking for. Maybe it was Star Veils or Cure 3s, I'm guessing. That last little bit for Zeromus.
Yeah, or maybe a silk web. But definitely looking for something out of a shop before they go dive in.
I mean, speaking of arty bows, we had the option for one. back in the Leviathan spot. Definitely the point where probably Drcossack did lose the most amount of time on this one. Feymarch is just dangerous. I mean, it's one of those points where I want to tell like newer runners, if you're a little unsure, get a few more levels or gear. Feymarch is rough. I mean, it's all you can really say.
Yeah, anytime I'm down underground early, I check Feymarch just to see who is there, but I never intend to fight anybody until I'm at least in the mid-30s.
Not unless I see King Queen Evelyn or something I can throw an hourglass at and have the hourglasses, of course, but yeah.
And Drcossack turning in that pass and getting the delivery of the crystal.
Well, one thing I brought up earlier today, I'm like, yeah, the one thing I'm kind of sad on, like as opposed to like last Seamus Zone, where, we did have the whole Forge the Gauntlet thing. Unfortunately, given the way the objective system works here, we can't accidentally leave the crystal on Earth as we go to fight Hurlmus. It always just appears in our inventory.
Yeah, that's true. Although I have absolutely played Seeds where I have mentally checked off an objective and have been very surprised to get to Zeromus and then realize that, oops, there was still one left.
I remember old Seeds like that. I can't remember the weekly race I was on where, you're going around, it's like, where did I leave this check? Oh, by the way, you never finished the Baron Inn. You ran into something nasty there, and like, oh yeah, really? It's the worst feeling in the world to walk up to Zeromus and not have the means to do it, but as chat, we like to see it sometimes because we're evil.
Yeah, we like to at least share the pain because we've all done it at least once on some flag set of having checked off something or thought you did it I thought you went maybe you thought you picked up the item out of the Twin Harp spot and just left it there.
Anyway, here's Romus. We're going to get our Protomus very soon here. Those Berserks are likely to come out almost immediately. Yang has almost 5,000 hit points. You're about to see a man rip apart Zeromus with his bare hands and maybe a few claws.
Yeah, just a little augmentation. Nothing as bad as a Crystal Sword there. Yang's going to do quite a bit of damage, probably 2,500 to 3,000 per swing off of Berserk.
The thing is, with the Cat Claws, Yang does find himself swinging very quickly, actually. There is definitely a reason why Penguinator, the winner of the last Highway to the Zenith Zone, likes Yang so much, and this fight is probably going to show you why here. Zeromus doesn't really have the tools to kill a Yang with that much hit points unless you just kind of straight up neglect him.
Yeah, and I think we'll see Yang be a little more powerful too, and a little more desired of a character once we get into the bracket stage, when some of the higher tier gear will be a little bit harder to find.
Yeah, it's actually going to be interesting to see the T-Pro there, and some of the routing change, so to speak, where you're going to see Watery Pass hold really great stuff, where you're going to see like the Earth Crystal Treasury. Everybody's going to dive it because it could have some of those. You could actually see the power creep get a little bit better. But it all kind of depends, because you're just going to see those chests, people are going to be doing a little more, maybe I'll skip Baron. I don't like the early skips as much. I usually don't like to run Troya, but that's a little bit more because I want money.
Yeah, and with shops only buying stuff for a quarter of the normal price, or for half of the normal price, you'll get a quarter of its sell price. It's a little bit harder to manage your money once we get into the T-Pro S-Pro flag.
Yeah, I personally, I do love a little more limited resources, but that's just me. We do see throwing the crystal out, looking for, that's probably for the nerf, actually.
And Jerome was counters right back at the crystal thrower.
Yeah, does have it out for Rosa. That's the second counter nuke she has eaten this fight. Might be grumbling a little bit at all those counter nukes. Here comes counter nukes. I can't talk today. Here comes Fu with that Cure 4. Everything's fine. Honestly, with the equipment that got thrown around this seed, he's wearing a Sorcerer's Robe Tiara and I believe a Protect Ring. Not much is honestly going to hurt her that much. Those counter nukes probably some of the biggest damage Zeromus can throw at that Rosa. She's not really in a huge amount of danger.
No, not particularly. And Drcossack's melee doing about 9,000 to 10,000 per round, with Cecil doing the bulk of it.
Is staying in with these nerf strats. Got Fu charging up another nuke to nerf this next big bang. Looks to be handling that one fairly well. May not honestly need it. May want it to keep Cecil alive. 2,400 might be a little low for him on a DPS build. Fu getting a counter nuke for only 780. Speaking of low rolls kind of thing.
Yeah, there's also could be some practice too. We've not had too many times where people have needed to do that many nerfs, so getting a little practice in out of this is not a bad idea if you're looking for going to later round.
Okay. Yeah, he usually, Zeromus is a little random. Anyway, there's the flash, there's the crack boom. Down goes Protomus. GG to Drcossack. Did finish in an official SRL time of 2:01:42.
Yeah, absolutely GG's to Drcossack, who just had that unfortunate wipe to Evil Wall and reset to something that was a little bit before than he thought he had actually saved. That was definitely most of the bulk of the time.
Yeah,
and the difference there between Zilch and...
Yeah, it's something you hate to see. It is a learning experience. I had one of those in my last seed. You come back stronger for it, you hope. It was still very well played. Unfortunately, we did have a decline on the interview here, so we will not be bringing Drcossack in for an interview at this point.
Yeah, we did see Seed excellently ran twice, and it was a good showing from both runners. And thank you to Jofis Manho for restreaming and Maggie the Cat for being our tracker tonight. They both did an excellent job. And thank you, Night2, for being my co-comms.
Absolutely, and thanks to Free Enterprise for putting this all together. Boardface, Rivers, everybody who puts up with our crap. But as it is, and putting this tournament together, honestly, it's still a blast, and we have plenty more Free Enterprise here. Throughout the next couple weeks, we've got a ton of matches that will, some of them not restreamed, so a lot of them will be. You're gonna see a lot of names in lights here. Go cheer on everybody you can. Everybody who runs this is awesome and deserves to get their moment in the sun kind of thing. So yeah, just any support you can. It does look like we'll be raiding the RPG Valkyries here. Looks like we're gonna be jumping in the middle of a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer race here. But we do actually have, if you haven't had enough Free Enterprise tonight, there is another race going on in the RPG Limit Break channel. It looks like it's starting up in roughly 25 minutes. So hope to see you in both places actually there.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a couple of monitors going and watch both the Valkyries and their marathon that they're going on, and as well as the other exciting races we have.
Absolutely.
And be sure that if you've been enjoying this, give our runners a follow, both Drcossack and Zilch6. And also just the rest of the restream team. Night2, Jofis Manho, and Maggie the Cat. Give them all a follow for all the hard work they're doing.
Yep, absolutely. And if you can't make any more today, one shout out, we do have another race starting. I do not know if it's going to be restreamed or not, but I do know we have one tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern starting tomorrow, and I believe many more. I'd have to bring up the schedule that I don't have up right now, but yeah, we've got plenty. And yeah, we will see you again next race.